Greetings from Palm Beach, Florida. So, while it's still winter here in Florida, I figured it was the best time for me to check out some of the other parts of South Florida that are known for being hospitable and having great beaches and that I've never been to. And of course, when I come to these places, anytime I visit, anytime I travel, I'm always curious what gay dating is like in these places. So I want to tell you guys about my experience here. So first off, all that I really knew about Palm Beach before coming here was that, or at least the stereotype I had in my head, was that it's this town, this beach town for like waspy older Americans, that it's like a calm, quiet town, not that busy, not that dynamic, but good for like a slow pace, for spas and golfing and that kind of vibe. Also, I associate it now with like Epstein and his shenanigans and like that kind of wealth, like old money, secluded, sequestered, that whole kind of thing. And honestly, it was pretty spot on, I have to say. I really am shocked. I knew that it's a very old town, but I'm shocked by like how consistently old it is. I would say at least every other person that I've walked by on the street or seen around me at a restaurant has been 60 plus. And it translates onto the apps. I've never had so many much older men, and I don't mean old enough to be my father, I mean like old enough to be my grandfather. I've never had this many grandpa aged men reach out to me, so it's been a little unusual, but this is how this place is. It's like one of those South Florida towns that is filled with a certain demographic of people who want to settle here at a different stage in their life. Now what's interesting is, as I mentioned, both on the apps and in person, I see much older people. But then on certain apps, I saw a much younger community, like guys around my age, and also different ethnicities and races, which I haven't really seen in person. This is a very Caucasian, homogenous town, which honestly I haven't experienced very often in the places that I've been in America. Palm Beach is like unusually white, white and much older. But then on the apps, specific apps like Hinge, let's say Tinder, I have seen, like I said, guys closer to my age and different backgrounds. And it finally clicked for me that I had heard before that there is this like cultural separation between West Palm Beach and Palm Beach. Palm Beach is this exclusive sort of waspy, older sort of country club vibe. And then West Palm Beach is more mixed and less sort of uppity. So West Palm Beach is actually, I guess, where I'm seeing these guys on the apps that are closer to my age range and my generation, that kind of thing. This is the first time in a really long time, in years, that I've been in a place where I haven't matched with anybody on an app or talked to anybody that I was interested in. Again, the fact that this community is very specific has definitely had an influence on that. But just in general, I imagine that being gay here is not too easy or fun. Of course, again, West Palm Beach is a different experience, I'm sure. I didn't head over to West Palm Beach while being here. I'm just here for a few days, and I had kind of things planned out between the beach and just hanging out at the hotel, going for a little spa, solo date. And honestly, there's a town-wide curfew here because it's pandemic times, COVID times. So it's not even really like the bars in West Palm Beach, because there are some gay bars there. As far as I know, there are no gay bars in Palm Beach. I've noticed Palm Beach is very, you know, it's uppity. Like, you don't have just any kind of chain coffee shop. Like, I noticed there's a bunch of Dunkin' Donuts in West Palm Beach. There are none in Palm Beach. So I'm not surprised that there's no sort of like gay dive bar in Palm Beach. But anyway, so there are gay bars in West Palm Beach. I didn't explore any just because between having specific things that I wanted to do here in Palm Beach and the curfew, it's like, it's not worth it. Like, who wants to go to a bar at 8 p.m.? So I can totally understand why people of a certain age would love it here, because it is really calm. You don't really see a bunch of kids running around. You don't have a bunch of like drunk 20-somethings like you do in a lot of other beach towns like Miami, where I live. So it is refreshing in that way, but it's also such like another extreme. Whatever the opposite of dynamic is, like, it's just, it's slow and calm, but to a point where it's almost eerie for me. And maybe that is because I'm coming straight from Miami, which is the opposite, or Miami Beach specifically, which is the opposite of here. So I get the appeal of Palm Beach, but it is definitely, not surprising that it is for there's a specific community here. I think once you get to that age, you just like don't want to be around the hoopla. You just want to get away, which by the way, speaking of Epstein, who I mentioned earlier, I totally get how he thrived here with all his shenanigans because it's just so isolated here. Like, I can totally see how people get away with crazy shit here. So fun for a little weekend retreat if you want like a bougie little getaway by yourself or with friends or family, but yeah, it's not the most fun or interesting place for gay dating. Catch you guys next time.